Hey, everybody. Just wanted to come to you today. This is not an official podcast episode. This is just kind of an overview because some software that I use called Farrago, I use it for a soundboard app. It's great because you can load all your sounds up in there, play them as you're doing your podcast. I'm a big proponent of having your podcast live. You do your thing, you stop recording, and you're done. You may trim your ends up, throw a couple filters on it, but I don't do a whole lot of editing in between there. I do that because it's a lot easier to do if you're just gonna be not doing any editing or anything like that, but you're gonna be just doing your recording. So I use Farrago all the time, play all my sounds out of it. It makes it a whole lot easier to do the podcast the way that I like to do podcasting. So with that, Farrago came out with version 2 yesterday. I've been a beta tester for a while, so you may have seen me talk about it other places, but their new version is out and it's a big release. So I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about that today. So with that, here we go. So here's Farrago and what we gain with the new version here. Let's see. We add a new. You can add audio directly now from Freesound, which means that you can search as you're like in your soundboard for a sound. Like say you want to have a door shut, you can quickly search that, and then bring it right directly into your Farrago and play it. It's a great a built-in editor for sounds. So let's say you have a longer sound and you want to trim the ends up because someone sends you a voicemail and it has some ends in it, some stuff like they give their phone number. You don't want to play that. You can quickly edit it right in Farrago instead of having to bring it into your DAW and bring it in like that. The next new feature is previewing audio ahead of the standard playback. So let's say you want to hear this, but you don't want it to go out to your show live. If you have another headphones plugged into your computer, you can preview it. Comes right out of those. Doesn't go into your live. It sends it out a different sound card. It also allows you to do the new version allows you to do shortcuts. So with your Mac, you have the shortcuts app. This now provides a slew of actions in the shortcuts app, so you can do things to Farrago from the shortcuts app and automate your usage, as well as doing setting volumes, things between sounds, controlling playback, some really cool things like that. You can also trigger sounds for shortcuts right from Farrago as well. So you can now trigger any shortcuts that you have created in the shortcuts app from Farrago. So like say you play a sound, but you also want that to turn your lights on or dim your lights or whatever. You can do that right in Farrago. The tile search is really good. So let's say you have 150 different sounds playing, but you don't know where those are at and easy to find. You can quickly search the tile and find the one you're actually looking for. Also, you can create dynamically updating sets that are by rules. So you can say if this is starred, if it has a play count of 10 or more, then it adds it to a specific set. It's nice. I can use it. So I use it sometimes for like doing temporary type things where I put something in there, but I want to have it temporary. I can quickly add them in there. It's nice. You can open sets in secondary windows. So let's say you have one set for a podcast, but then you also have a set for like a different podcast, or your voicemails are in a different sound set. You can open up each and one of those into a separate window and have them all open in front of you instead of having to select down between the ones that are showing. You can mark tiles and sets as favorites. So you can, if you want to quickly find one, you can mark it as favorite. And then that actually shows up as a favorites smart list. That's kind of a cool way to do that too. You can now lock sets. So you prevent accidental edits or changes. I know I've done that. I've had a set that my kids were playing with and I didn't want them to delete things. So you can lock them. You can set a password. It's great. Or in a shared environment. So let's say that you have you're at a radio station and you don't want people to actually delete things like your stingers and your jingles and things like that. You can do that and you can lock. You can now also import audio directly from GarageBand and Logic Pro. So if you have loops and things in there, you can bring those right into Farrago. This is my favorite one, is Stream Deck support. I'm going to tell you that right now because I use the Stream Deck all the time to switch between my scenes and do different things as I'm streaming and recording podcasts. And with Farrago version 2, you can trigger sounds on the Stream Deck and you can stop and start sounds. It's great. That way you don't even have to have it in the foreground. It also adds OSC support, so open sound control. You can have other apps control Farrago. MIDI improvements, so there's a lot of different MIDI improvements. MIDI was in there before, but now it improves on the things of that. You have new sample sets. You can export all of them better. Emojis, you can add tiles that are emojis. The interface is all cleaned up and a lot better. You can immediately solo things. So if other things are playing, you can solo something as it plays. I'm trying to think of what else is in here. So a lot of different things are coming to Farrago 2. It's worth the upgrade if you already have it. It is an upgrade price, but it is worth the upgrade on it because it's just so many new things. As you can see, this list just continues and continues and continues. So that way you can read these yourself. But yeah, there's a whole slew of new things that come down through here. So if you've never tried Farrago out, I will link it in the it'll link it into the show notes here. But it is a really great software that I use all the time, and I would recommend you doing it. Again, this is just a kind of a quick update with all of the new things. Definitely get out there and try it.